Now, three ladies join me now. The first one is Jess Hawkins. Now, Jess, we know you as a racer yourself. You raced in Super 1, of course, and you've been around karting for a long time. How are you finding the challenge now as a mechanic?
It's a new challenge, to be honest. I guess it's the next best thing to driving myself, and obviously it's close to my heart with the girls, so it's great.
Okay, and you're mechanicking for Alicia Goundry, who's we're going to see shortly in the IAME Cadet race. Now, Alicia, your first season in Super 1 this year, how are you finding it so far?
Challenging. Every time I go out, I'm improving.
How did you get into karting in the first place? What encouraged you?
Well, I've always wanted to be a rally driver ever since I've been little, been watching rallies, so I just started from there basically. Okay,
and your sister Tilly's here as well. Now Tilly, I know you had a massive crash at PF International, broke some stuff, you've got pins in your legs. How's your health first of all? How are you feeling now?
It's getting better every day. I'm glad to be racing this weekend and all that.
And you're in Super 1 for the first time this weekend. This is your first meeting pretty much since your accident. How's it been going for you so far?
Been going great. Amazing.
And what are you hoping for this weekend in terms of a result?
Not coming last.
Good answer. Great target for your first weekend. Don't finish last. Now that looks like Dimitrov, the 23, is pulling off on the grid, but that's not even the first bit of drama. The O-plate, Johnny Edgar, originally starting from pole position, he stalled on the original start. They made the grid go round again. They've got his kart repaired, but he now has to start from the back of the grid. So the O-plate, the reigning British Open champion, will now have to start this race from the very back. There's the confirmation. So we're going to try and see what Johnny Edgar can do from the very back. Away we go, and already there's jostling and into the barrier. One of the karts has gone. That is the kart 14 of Van Napton, who's starting from the dummy grid. So away we go through the first corner. Oop, hopping over the curbs. There goes the 52 of Zach O'Sullivan as they make their way through the first couple of corners. This puts Finley Bunce effectively pole, and there's loading into the hairpin. Lots of karts in trouble there. It looks like Van Napton's involved. So too was Tyler Reid. Hodgin, Skinner and Vasilev also involved. Plenty of drivers having to take avoiding action. But on the first lap of the race, no surprises, it is Dexter Patterson, the 7, who has taken an early lead here. As up the inside goes Simmons to make an overtaking move. But Patterson is your leader. Second position, Finley Bunce.
Taylor Barnard there in third place. Red suits, lime green helmet. There he is.
Marlowe, Thompson, Hannafin, Martland in behind, then Joe Taylor, Bray Keneally, Simmons, O'Sullivan, Mace, then it's Alicia Barrett from Henderson, the C-plate Johnny Wilkinson from Butterworth, Aidan Neat, then Beecroft, Reese Dodds, Rattigan Day, there's contact, and there goes the 52 around, that is O'Sullivan. He makes the move at Simmons at the hairpin and it doesn't work, so he drops right down the order once again, in behind Matthew Hunt. Let's have a look at it again. Up the inside, this is a very easy place to make an overtaking move, but he's picked his moment just a little bit too eager there. This is the battle in position 4, 10th position, and it's just got a little bit too close for comfort. I'd say a racing incident there between the two. They both wanted to go for the same bit of tarmac, and he just got a little bit too eager.
Front wheel to front wheel contact, so doesn't look like there's a warning flag, and that's the 12 running wide.
That's Marlowe. He was in 4th place, don't forget, so Marlowe's now dropped back. But look at Johnny Edgar coming up through the field. The O-plate is up to 13th from the back of the grid.
That is absolutely incredible. He stalled it on at the original start, so they made them go round again. He had to drag the kart off. You can't. That's Alicia Goundry going through that we interviewed earlier on. You cannot work on the karts on the track. You have to take it off onto the dummy grid, an area where you can work on it. That is Johnny Edgar. Just made his way past the 17 car of Alicia Barrett. You can't work on it on the track. You had to take it off. He got it going again as the 27 of Joseph Taylor goes up the inside for a spot. A few karts run wide. He's got it going again, but they've put him to the back of the grid. So he started 34th of the 34 runners.
Taylor making a great move on Bray Keneally with Finley Bunce right on the tail. Poor Finley, he seems to be going backwards through the field as a result of having that battle. There's Wilkinson taking on Archie Mace. Won the C-plate at the recent Landau Welsh Championships. Up the inside comes Bunce, makes the move. So Bray Keneally and Finley Bunce have got back past Joe Taylor. So a very close battle, and in behind them, that is the 12 closing up. And on the inside, that's Alicia Barrett up to 13th position, having got away from Archie Mace once again. Great to see Alicia really making great strides in Super 1 this year, coached, as we know, by Alice Powell, and she's learning from one of the best in the business.
She ran a little bit wide out of the turn, but kept it all together, and still in contention. That's the 36 of Bray Keneally, started P10, currently 6. So finally, Bray Keneally seems to always have a problem in the first final this season, and ends up down the back of the field. He started P10 today, which is very reasonable, up to 6th place, and he's certainly somebody, I think, he's a potential winner at this level this season, but he needs to grid it in the top 2 rows, really, so he can get away with those at the front and then battle for the win. That's Johnny Edgar up the inside of the 34, a nice sweep move, Alex Simmons, and Johnny Edgar moving his way through the field. I was next to him when he'd had his kart dragged off onto the dummy grid, and they were repairing it, getting it going basically. And interestingly, for a young man, he was very, very calm. A lot of kids, you'd see them banging the steering wheel, the red mist was come down. None of it from Johnny Edgar. He just sat there very calmly, and you could tell he was just thinking, I'm just going to pick them off one at a time. Keep calm, don't lose the plot. And that is exactly what he's done. That's the remnants from Alicia Barrett's earlier off in that corner, I think.
Well, second position, we barely mentioned him in this race, but he's been working his way through the field rapidly, is Brandon Martland. He's worked his way up to second position in front of Taylor Barnard, desperately trying to chase down Dexter Patterson, and he's come alive in this race. Now, that is a black and white. That's for Alicia Goundry. I'm not sure what she's done, but apparently she's transgressed and the stewards have picked up on it. Dexter Patterson still out in front, second Martland, third Taylor Barnard, and then comes the battle behind for the lower positions. Fourth position at the moment is Thompson in front of Lorcan Hannafin, and then this three-way scrap in position, Bray Keneally in front of Finley Bunce and Joe Taylor.
I need to call out Brandon Martland, Jake, on his failure to come up with his promised treat for me at Glanigorse Park. He made up 27 places. He came up and said, am I going to get a mention? I said, well, 27 places, you're definitely going to get a mention. You're going to be the man on fire. You're going to get a graphic for that. That was before I realised in his pocket he had a chocolate bar for me just to bribe me. When I told him he'd get a graphic anyway, he sat down on the steps and ate the chocolate bar, didn't give it to me. So he owes me a chocolate bar minimum as Thompson comes up the inside of Hannafin round the double apex at the bottom of the circuit. So I just wanted to call Brandon Martland out on his failure to deliver my bribe.
Well, I tell you what, he's now currently in second position, so getting that chocolate bar out of his pocket is obviously, he's lost a bit of weight now, so he can close up on Dexter Patterson out in front. Well, no, actually, that's not true, because he ate it, didn't he? So he's added to it. And so a black flag.
That was at Glanigorse, though. He's probably lost the weight by now.
Well, I suppose that's true. But yes, black flag now for Alicia Goundry. Things are going from bad to worse for her. Not entirely sure what that's for, but the black flag is now coming out. There's the confirmation. Unfortunately, the number 88, Alicia Goundry, has been summoned to the pits. That's unfortunate.
Johnny Edgar we saw going through the picture there. He is, where is he? There he is, going through the picture. So he's picking these carts off one at a time. He's kept his head when all about them would be losing theirs. Others might be losing theirs anyway, as he's up the inside of Joseph Taylor. He's right on the back of Bunce. Bunce goes through the inside of Thompson, and Johnny Edgar right there. He's looking at valuable championship points in front of him now.
Well, that battle for sixth position has not only caught Thompson and Hannafin, they've passed them. So this is now for fourth position, as up the inside comes Bunce. Bunce makes the move on Bray Keneally. This is for fourth position now, this battle, and Johnny Edgar is right in the middle of it. Don't forget that there's three Fusion boys now. They always say safety in numbers, but when Johnny Edgar's on his A game, there's no safety at all, as Hannafin has now been caught by Owen Marlowe. Edgar is now right there in sixth position. The IAME Motorsport boys need to be looking over their shoulder, because here comes the Jaws music. Up the inside comes Edgar, slices through for fifth position, and wait for it, there goes Bunce, straight on the inside of him as well. Keneally's going to get past Bunce. Brilliant battle. No, he doesn't. Bunce shuts the door, but that's one after another on overtaking 2 men in 2 corners. Edgar's flying around Larkhall.
Absolutely brilliant move. Does the first one in the first hairpin. You wouldn't have thought he'd have the momentum to get the second one in the second hairpin, but does exactly that. What a brilliant drive here from Johnny Edgar, and this will retain his championship lead, I think, although we've got Dexter Patterson out front. Edgar needs to make up some more places possibly to negate Dexter Patterson's advantage here.
Well, he's currently 4th position, so he needs to see if we can close in on Martland and Barnard. That's Jamie Day in front, being blue flagged. And that is the 27 of Taylor now moving up to 5th position as he makes the move on Bunce. Hannafin now makes the move on Thompson, who seems to be going backwards down the field. Not quite sure what's happened to him in the last couple of laps, but he seems to be getting none of the luck of the draw at all. As the midfield battles, still great battles. That's the blue flag for Day. He'll need to get out of the way of Johnny Edgar in 4th position, who's dropped them. Look, he's just dropped this battle, and he is charging after a podium. Right, boys, thanks for the play. I'm now going to go after a podium.
Great pace. That's Lorcan Hannafin on the 11. Thompson in behind. Harry Thompson may be surprised to have seen Johnny Edgar go past him. He will have known at the start that Edgar's been placed down in 34th place right at the back of the field, so he'd be a little bit surprised to see him come past him, and he's dropped him as well, as he is indeed the other drivers. That's the race leader, Dexter Patterson, well out front. This is the biggest cadet lead I've seen. Well, I can't remember a cadet lead in a cadet race like this for I'd say a long time. I can't remember one, to be honest.
Absolutely. Dexter Patterson doing an absolutely cracking job out in front. We've barely spoken about him in this race because he's been so dominant. Behind him, Bray Keneally leading rookie, Reggie Dewey leading privateer. How many times have we heard that this season? And Reggie Dewey, on the way to doing so, has made up 20 places on the grid. There's another charger with an incredible future ahead of him. But Dexter Patterson controlling the pace in front of Brandon Martland and Taylor Barnard in 3rd position. So getting a little bit too close for comfort in the mid-pack. That looked like Marlowe going a little bit wide. And that was a big moment there for the 50 of Dylan Hodgkin on the final tour. But Patterson takes the checkered flag. Problems though at the end of the race, as he is going to get excluded for a technical infringement, unfortunately. So it's Martland who gets the victory, and there's absolutely nothing to choose between the outside of the top 3 as 3 or 4 karts come across the line sideways. It's going to need a photo to sort out that one, but as we look at the final reckoning, it's Martland that is declared the winner from Taylor Barnard. Johnny Edgar in 3rd position. What a fight back. Finley Bunce, Harry Thompson, Bray Keneally and Joseph Taylor all covered by just over a 10th of a second. Marlowe in 8th place from Lorcan Hannafin and Piers Henderson rounding out the top 10. So Martland, Barnard and Edgar on the podium after an absolutely thrilling encounter, and that has definitely helped Johnny Edgar's title challenge. Thompson in 2nd place in front of Joseph Taylor with a 3-way battle for 4th between Finley Bunce, Brandon Martland and Lorcan Hannafin. That exclusion for Patterson has cost him very dearly indeed. More cadet action here at Larkhall after the break with the Honda class up next.